Good evening, guys. We'll start with the session. So, before I start with the session, let me inform you guys one update. So, Rohit sir is not feeling well. So, next Java class will not be there. Okay. You have to show concern. You are laughing. So, this is called as a concern. Okay, anyways, so I'll be taking a class. So once my class is done, so I'll be taking till 6:30. So 1 hour 30 minutes I'll be taking, and after that I'll be leaving you guys. Then you can go back. Okay. So we'll start with the session. Maintain silence. I said you guys to maintain silence. I hope you guys understand English, that what I am telling, that I am telling you guys to maintain silence, and I don't have so much of patience that every time to keep on telling you guys to maintain silence, and you guys are not even kids. Once a trainer is standing in the stage and if they are telling you guys anything, it's your responsibility to listen to what they are trying to tell. If you want to sit and if you want to chit chat, if you want to laugh, this is not the right place. And I said you guys thrice that to remain silent. So let us start with the session. So in the last class we have started about the ER diagram, an entity relationship diagram. In that we have seen a lot of terminologies that what we have. So very important. So first of all we understood that what is an entity relationship diagram. What is an ER diagram? So basically it is nothing but it is a diagrammatic representation of a data. So before we start constructing a table, we have to plan a certain things. If we are not planning, if we are directly constructing a tables, it will become a problem later where you have to keep on modifying your tables. You have to keep on modifying your tables. So that is why having a plan first, it is important. In that planning only, we have seen a multiple terminologies that which we have. So most importantly, we have understood that what is an entity. So basically an entity is nothing but it is one real world object. And for that real world object that we can give a multiple examples that which we can give. So everything that if you are seeing, if you are looking around, so you can find multiple examples for an entity. And also that we have seen what is a representation for an entity. So the representation for an entity was, it is a rectangular. And to draw any of the ER diagram, the most important thing, the first important thing is having that representation. Knowing that representation is very much important, and without an entity you cannot go and plan or you cannot draw an ER diagram further. And also we have seen that we had some of the properties for an every entity. Every entity will be having a certain properties which describes that particular entity. And that only we will be technically called as what? As an attribute. And that attribute representation, we have seen that it was an ellipse. And also that we have seen the different types of an attributes as well. We have seen about the simple attribute, we have seen about the composite attribute, single valued attribute, multi-valued attribute, derived attribute and key attribute. And here for every type of an attribute we have seen an example and we have seen about the representations as well. It can be a simple attribute, it can be a composite attribute, it can be a single valued attribute as well as multi-valued attribute. So for the multi-valued attribute, the representation was double ellipse. And for the derived attribute, the representation was dotted ellipse. And examples for the derived attributes also we have seen multiple. So we have seen date of birth, age. Same time we can consider marks and result. We can consider date of joining and experience. So like this, if we see multiple examples that we can get for the derived attributes. And again, when you are telling two attributes, in that you should know which attribute will be called as a derived attribute. And that derived attribute representation was dotted ellipse. And also we have seen a very important attribute, that is a key attribute. So we had many attributes with our entity, that is with our customer entity. We had what? We had the multiple attributes, but in all of those attributes we have chosen ID only as a key attribute. Why? Because that is one where a values or a fact that what we will be giving there, it will be unique. Suppose if you are taking an example for name, date of birth, age, gender, email ID sometimes phone number also. It can be what? It cannot be an unique thing. So that is why here, where again when we have to make an attribute as a key attribute, that attribute completely should be an unique only. It should not be partial like your email ID. Then you cannot go and make that attribute completely as a key attribute. No. An attribute where you can consider completely as a key attribute, completely as a unique attribute, that only you have to consider as a key attribute, and for that the representation you have to give as what? As the underline. So whenever you are drawing any of the things, first of all, if attribute should come, entity should be there. If entity is not there, attributes you cannot give. And the representations, and inside that for the different types of an attributes, that representations also we cannot give. So that is why I said for every ER diagram, the root will be your entity. That is most important thing. So next let us see that what are the things that we have. Till here is where that we have seen. So we had a derived attribute and here we had a key attribute, and normal attributes that whatever we have, we had here. Okay, so now here only you need to understand a certain different things as well. So what is the different thing here you need to understand is, suppose I removed two attributes here. Which are the attributes I removed? ID I removed and email I removed. ID, it is a complete key attribute. Email, it was partial, but even though what I did, I removed both of them. Now assume that I have a customer here, which is my entity, and I have these are the attributes that I have here. In this, can we make any attribute as a key attribute? In this, can we make any attribute as a key attribute? No. So here, whatever the attributes, right now we are taking an example for our customer, none of these attributes are a key attributes, or none of these attributes can become as a key attributes. So whenever any entity does not contain an attribute, which can be uniquely identified. Again, I am repeating a statement. Any entity which does not contain an attribute which can be uniquely identified, such entity we have to call as a weak entity. So we have to call as what? We have to call as a weak entity. And the representation for the weak entity, it will be a double rectangular. So what is a weak entity here? Basically, an entity, if an entity does not contain an attribute which can be uniquely identified. In that case, the entity will become as what? As a weak entity. And that entity should be represented in the double rectangular. See, this concept, whatever it is there as a weak entity, this is important for the interviews. This is very much important for the interviews. But whenever we are drawing an ER diagram, whenever they are giving you the scenario, or else whenever they are giving you the option to consider the scenario, make sure that the ER diagram, whatever you are drawing, in that ER diagram, weak entity should not be there. Always, whatever you are creating, that should be strong. Always, whenever you are giving an entity in that, at least make sure that one unique attribute is present. One key attribute is present, so that whenever we wanted to fetch any information, by keeping that unique values, it will be very easy for us or efficient for us to fetch the data. So, try to avoid having a weak entities in the ER diagrams. Until and unless in the scenario, if they specifically tell you to include a weak entity, you include. Suppose if they are giving you the option, or if you are planning up the things, make sure that you don't give the weak entities in your ER diagram. The much that you are avoiding this weak entity, the strong your plan will be present. That efficiently we can fetch what? We can fetch our data. So basically this is what? This is an entity. So every root thing, whatever we are taking, it will be about an entities and attributes. But this only are not important. If you see, the title only was present as an entity relationship diagram. Why relationship? We have seen in the Amazon example itself. You are learning RDBMS, means whatever you are creating, whatever you will be storing, every data will be interrelated with each other. Every data will be having a certain kind of relationship between each other. So, now you have to understand one more important word or a terminology, which is nothing but it is a relationship. In the entity relationship diagram, so far we have understood with respect to entity about the attributes what it has, and that properties or that attributes representations. This is what we have seen. So now you have to try to understand about this relationship as well. Means how exactly that relationship that you will be creating here, how exactly that related data that you will be creating here, and most importantly, how do you represent that relationship here. And first of all, that relationship, what does it exactly mean in our ER diagram? That is important. So understand, relationship here, it is nothing but it is an association among two entities. What is relationship here? It is an association among two entities. So we will be having an entity, and there we will be creating that relationship between what? Between that entities. And that relationship, that association only, technically here we will be telling as what? As a relationship. So here I will take one example. So here I have took a department. So department also is one entity, right? In the examples also we have seen. Department is what? It is one entity. Here we are not considering whether it is a physical entity or conceptual entity, but it is an entity. Since this is an entity, I have represented it with the rectangular. Now one more entity that I will be taking here as an HOD. HOD also is one entity, right? So now, right now if you see, I don't have a connection between both the entities. Right now, department is an individual entity, HOD is an individual entity. Now, we have to create that relationship and we have to associate both the entities. Now, how do we associate both the entities? Now, can I tell that a department can have an HOD? For example, if you take in your department, suppose if you are a computer science department or a civil department, mechanical or electrical, every department will be having one HOD. One main person will be there. So here I have to create that relationship. Now I have to associate these two entities. So can I tell here that a department have an HOD? Can I tell like that, where I am associating what? Both the entities. So here whatever the word that I am using here, a department have HOD. Department have HOD. Now by using this word only, what I am doing? I am creating, I am associating both the entities here. So this word is what? That is associating both the entities. This word is what? That it is creating the relationship between the both the entities. So this is called as what? Relationship. And this is represented by the diamond shape. The relationship is represented by what? Represented by the diamond shape. So here basically that relationship is nothing but what? It is an association among the two entities. And it is represented by what? Diamond shape. So these representations are very much important. It's very simple to look, but this is very much important. Why? Because you are learning RDBMS. So this terminology, this representation will be having a very weightage in your diagrammatic representations. A lot can depend on this relationship. So this is very much important. So similarly so this is a relationship you have understood. So like this, we have a different types of relationship as well. We have a different types of relationship, or it is also called as a cardinality ratio. See why I am giving both the terminologies, because in the interviews they will be asking you, tell me what are the different types of cardinality ratios are there, or explain the types of relationships that are present in your ER diagram. So understand both the terminologies are same. They can tell as a types of relationship or they can tell as what? Cardinality ratio. So we have a different thing. So here let us see the examples of that. So same department I am taking here and same HOD I will be taking here, and just now we have seen that how we can create a relationship between them. So here department have HOD. Have is what here? It is a relationship. Now if you see here, I have something I have given here as 1 and 1. Basically this is a type of relationship or a cardinality ratio. Means I am trying to tell here one department can have one HOD. In one department we can have one HOD. This is a reality. This is a fact. For one department 2 to 3 HODs will be there in a college. No, a single HOD only will be present. So whatever the example we have taken here, this is a realistic example. So for one department we can have only one HOD max. So here what is that 1:1? What we will be telling here, that 1:1 only is what? It is a type of relationship or it is a cardinality ratio. So whenever we have created a relationship, what type of relationship they have or what type of cardinality ratio we have, that also we have to provide. That also we have to give. Then only your ER diagram and your relationship, that whatever you are creating between an entities, will be complete. Otherwise, it will be a partial only. So relationship is important, type of relationship also it is important. So here what is the first type of relationship we have? It is 1:1. So similarly we will be having 1:many, many:1 and many:many as well. So we have a 4 type of cardinality ratios, or we have 4 types of relationship here. So 1:1, 1:many, many:1 and many:many. So 1:1 example we have seen. So similarly here for other also I will give. So here I am taking a company and here I am taking an employees. Okay. So can we tell here that one company can have or has many employees? So what ratio we can give? 1:many. So in one company many employees will be working, or one company has many employees. Yes. So this is an example for 1:many. Similar manner we can give for many:1 as well. So here let us see that example also. So I am giving here as what? As an employee. So there I am taking the example as again as a company, and here we can tell, right, many employees can work in one company. So here what relationship that we will be getting here? Many:1. Many employees can work in one company. So this scenario also it is possible. So this we will be giving an example for many:1. So next we have a many:many also, where you should have a complete focus on the many:many relationship, because that is very much important when we compare with the other type of the cardinality ratios we have. Okay, so I'll give an example here. I am taking a products here, a product you can take, and I will be taking a customer here. Okay, so we can give any relationship here. We can tell that one product can be purchased by a customer. A product's purchased by a customer only, right? So here relationship we can provide as what? As a purchase. And here if you see, I am giving many:many relationship. But how I am giving many:many relationship, or how you have to decide that two entities, whatever we have given, that it contains many:many relationship, is you have to see both the directions. For example, in this example I said one department has one HOD. I did not come in the backward direction. I only went in the forward direction. Here also I said one company can have multiple employees. I went in a forward direction only. Here also I said as what? Multiple employees can work in one company. Here also I have seen in a forward direction only. Means only in one direction I have checked my condition. I have checked my scenario, or I have checked my relationship. But when it comes to the many:many relationship, you have to check it in both the directions. You have to check in the forward direction also, and you have to check in the backward direction. And what you have to check here is, if you are checking in the forward direction, you have to get 1:many relationship. If you are checking from the backward direction also, you have to get 1:many relationship only. Whenever you have this kind of a scenarios, whenever you want to have this kind of a scenarios, you can directly tell as what? As many:many relationship. Now, can I tell that one product can be purchased by multiple customers? One product can be purchased by multiple customers. See, it is not an item. Item is different, product is different. Item is different, product is different. See, suppose if I am taking Boyo mic. Boyo mic, it is a product. What it is? It is a product. Multiple people buy a Boyo mic, right? So, multiple people can buy one product. Again, don't get confused with an item and the product. Product is different, item. In that item only we will be having multiple items. In one product we can have multiple items. So, here I am talking about the product. So, one product can be purchased by multiple customers. And this is forward direction I have checked. Now, if I tell that one customer can buy a multiple products, one customer can buy multiple products. Yes. So, in the backward direction also I am getting 1:many. When I see in the forward direction also I am getting 1:many. In the backward direction also I am getting here 1:many. So, when you are checking in both the directions, if you are getting 1:many, you can, if you want, you can give there the relationship as what? As many:many relationship. And here, notation if you are seeing here for this, many people will write this as m:m. Many people will write as m:m for many:many. But standard is writing m:n for many:many relationship. If you are seeing anywhere m:m, that is also fine. If you are seeing m:n, this is also fine. But in both the things, this is a standard one. Whenever you are representing, you have to tell as what? m:n for many:many type of relationship. See, like this if we are seeing for the cardinality ratios, we can get a lot of examples. A lot of examples. So, whenever you are doing a revisions or whenever you go for any of the interviews, it's not like you have to by heart the same examples and you have to give. So, you can see the situation there again. You can keep these examples as in the worst case. But if you are creating some different examples out of the box and if you are giving an examples, that would be a realistic for the interview person also. They will understand that okay, you understood the scenarios, you understood the concept that what it is present. So, keep this as what? As a worst case examples. Always you have to try to think different examples and you have to give the different examples only in the interviews. But this is how we will be having what? We will be having a relationship, and for that relationship we will also should assign what is a cardinality ratio or what is the type of the relationship that will be present. So, these terminologies are very much important. Let me tell these 4 terminologies again. First one is entity, very important. Second one, attribute is very important. Third, relationship is very important. Fourth, type of relationship or cardinality ratio, very much important. If you understood properly these 4 terminologies with the proper examples and with the proper representations, no matter what scenario they give, or if they only tell you to directly write up the ER diagram, easily you can completely draw an ER diagrams. So, let me tell you in the ER diagrams how the interview, because I've seen so many company clients that how they will be asking this or based on the ER diagram is, sometimes they will give you the scenario. What entities should be present in that, what attributes should be present, what relationship you have to give, what cardinality ratio you have to give, everything they will give you in scenario. Otherwise, they will directly tell Draw the ER diagram for the hospital database. Draw the ER diagram for the bank database. Draw the ER diagram for the university database. Draw the ER diagram for the company database. So like this, they can bring any database. Again, database in the sense they don't give you tables inside the data, no. They will just tell you bank database, university database, hospital database. What you have to do here is, you have to think entities. Bank in the sense, what and all entities can I take? For that entities, what and all attributes I can give? And for that entities, what relationship I can create? And what cardinality ratio I can give? So, either they will give you the requirement or directly they will tell you draw an ER diagram for this database. So, that time you have to think and you have to take each and everything and you have to represent. But make sure, try to avoid the weak entity in your ER diagrams. If you have a weak entity, that will not be a strong and it will be very difficult to fetch the data efficiently. If that unique, if that key attribute, if it is not present. So these are the different terminologies that what we have and which is very much important to draw the ER diagram. So next we have steps to draw the ER diagram as well. So first one, you can see what it is. You have to identify the entities. Now you already know what is entity. You already know how you have to represent an entity. So second, you have to identify the attributes. Now in this attributes also, you know what is attribute, what is a representation of an attribute, and what are the different types of attributes that which we have. So next you have to identify the relationship. So just now we have seen that what is a relationship, what is a representation for the relationship. So next you have to identify the cardinality ratio. So what you have to identify? Cardinality ratio. So whatever relationship you would have been created, for that only you have to provide what? You have to provide the cardinality ratio. Once if you are aware of all these steps, finally that you can draw your ER diagram. Finally you can draw your ER diagram. So these four terminologies are very much important, and in all of this if you see, entity is a root. If entity is not there, attributes will not be there. If entity is not there, relationship will not be there. And again, if relationship is not there, what cardinality ratio you will give there? So here, entities is most important things. So many things can depend on that particular entities. Again, each point has its own functionality and its own importance. But the root level is what? It is an entity only. So here, let us take one scenario. You can see, this is how that they will be providing you the scenario, where, as I said, everything they will give you. What are the entities that will be present? What are the attributes that will be present? What are the relationships that you have to give? Sometimes everything they will give. And here if you see, they have given it like what? Like a statements here. Nowhere they provided you any representation. Nowhere they have provided you any representation. So you have to read each and every statement properly. You have to identify an entities here. For that entities, if any attributes if they have given, you have to give. Then you have to give the relationship, that what relationship that they have given, and you should also give what? You should also give the cardinality ratio. So this is how that scenarios that they will be giving you. This is how requirement that they will be giving you. Now what is our duty now? This scenario, by keeping this scenario, we have to draw an ER diagram. See here again, whatever the steps that I said, Identify entity, attribute, relationship, cardinality ratio. As a beginner, if you are following these steps properly, one by one, it will be very easy for you guys to draw the ER diagram. So until and unless that you guys become an expert in drawing an ER diagram, make sure you follow the steps one by one. First identify entities, then attributes, then relationship, then cardinality ratio, then try to draw one complete ER diagram. So now in this, tell me what and all entities that you can find. If you want, you can go through with this and tell me what and all entities that you can find. As I said, entity, identifying entity is a root. If that only if you did not identify, you cannot give the attributes, relationship, cardinality ratios, you cannot give. Okay, tell me the first entity. Yes? University. Okay, then? Department, then? Faculty, then? Course, then? Then? Semester, then? Student, then? And year. Whenever you are reading a statements, read the statements properly. Here, many of you guys said university as one entity. It is 100% correct. It is 100% correct that university is an entity. But here, while writing up a statement, if you are seeing, in a university has is what that they are telling. They are telling that a university has. So whatever it has, that is what that you have to pick up. Here, if they have said that there is a university, for that university this we have, then definitely you can take a university as one individual entity. But here in the statement that they are telling a university has, means this is an university database. What it is? This is an university database. See, when we tell a bank database, bank only you should not take as an entity. It's an entity. But bank only if you are taking, in that only you will get all the things. Then how do you segregate into the different entities? So, you need to think in a bank, what and all entities that I can find. So, here a university as, here that university basically it is one database. So, in that database what are the entities is what that you have to identify. So, here, so many of you guys have said the entities correctly. So, let us see that. So, first what step we will be following? Identifying an entities. So, in this if you are seeing first entity what we have? Department. It is one entity, right? So, second entity that if you see here, what I have second entity? Faculty. So, what faculty also it is one entity. So, department is one entity, faculty is one entity. So, next that what I have here? So, next I have course. So, course also it is one entity. So, next what we have here? Semester. So, semester also is one entity. So, next what we have? Student. So, even a student also is what? It is one entity. See, understand how many total entities we have here? So, what are those? Department, faculty, course, semester and student. Yes? Well, here one important thing you have to understand. What is that important thing is, while drawing an ER diagram, You have to pick these entities and you have to place and you have to give that representation for that. Understand, this is a scenario. Here if you see, entities, we don't have a singular here. It is present as students. It is present as departments. But understand, this is a paragraph. This is a statement. Here, grammatically, we will be getting as departments, students only. But while you pick and when you are making that as an entity, make sure that entity should be a singular. While drawing an ER diagram, you should not tell as departments. You have to tell as what? Department. You should not tell as a semesters. You have to tell as semester. So whenever you are drawing an ER diagram, what you have to remember? That entity should be singular. So remember that one standard. Okay, so let us see this particular entities, that how we can take up the things here. So here you can see that this is how that rectangular and each and every entity we have to represent. So what and all we have here? Department, faculty, course, semester, student. So first I have to identify an entity. I have identified entity and I placed them properly. Along with what? Along with the representation. So as I said, since you guys are beginners, try to do it step by step. Once you identified entities, put entities and give the representations immediately. So next to go for what? Next to go for the attributes. Once you find the attributes, place that particular attributes here. So next what we have here? Attributes. So in the scenario that what we have given here, so what and all attributes that we have here? If you see attributes, they have clearly mentioned here. If you see attributes, they have clearly mentioned. So for a department, what and all we have? Department code we have, and what we have? Then we have the department name also we have. Yes, department code they are taking the department name also. So if you see individually, for every entity, they have specified what? They have specified the attributes. Here also they have specified, if you see, in the 4 statements that what we have above, in that also they have specified. So, for the department, what and all we have here? Department code and department name. So, next for the faculty, that what and all we have here? Faculty ID, name and email address. So this is what that attributes they have given for what? For the faculty. Understand, whenever they are giving any kind of an attributes for any entities, you have to include the same attributes only. You cannot add any attributes and you should not exclude any attributes as well. Why? Because this is a requirement. This is a scenario. Whatever it is there, you have to follow it exactly the same. So next what we have here? Course. For the course what we have? Course code, title, credit values. So these are the attributes. So next what we have for the semester? Semester code, start date and end date. So these are the attributes. So next we have student. In the student what we have? Student ID, name, contact number and email ID. So these are the attributes which they have given for the individual entities. Now you guys sit, laugh, discuss, don't concentrate. I'll check when you guys come for the mock that how well and how attentionally that you guys are sitting in the class. Now I know it's a class that okay fine ma'am, still we have time, everything. But when the time comes, it will be clearly showed that how well that you are paying an attention in the class. And let me repeat that multiple clients and multiple companies have asked to draw the ER diagram. There are people who lost an opportunity just because that they don't know how to draw the ER diagram. So make sure every terminology what we are using here, it is important. It is important. So again I will not be repeating this. Make sure you concentrate on each and every point that we are discussing. So these are the attributes that which we have for what? For our entities. So as soon as you got these things, so next thing what you have to do, you have to, whatever for the entities are there, for that entities you have to provide what? Attributes. You can see each entity is there. For each entity we have an attribute. So how the attribute is represented? Ellipse. And if you see, for every entity here, I have identified the key attribute as well. For every entity, I have identified what? A key attribute as well. So whenever you are identifying an attribute, make sure that you know the key attribute also. Why? Because if that is not there, your entity will become a weak entity which should not be actually present in your ER diagram. So you can see entity is done, and for that entity attributes also are done. So next what we have to identify? So we have to identify the relationships. So in that relationships also, that if you see, already the relationship whatever it is there, they have given in the scenario only. And along with the relationship, if you see, the type of the cardinality ratio also they have given. What they are expecting. What type of relationship that they wanted you to give. Again, here few things that you might think, ma'am, this also we can give. No. This also is possible. No. It might be possible. But we are going according to what? According to the requirement. Whenever they are giving you the option, you draw, you give whatever you want. But when they have given the scenario, you need to follow it exactly the same. So what is the first relationship they have given here? A faculty member can take one course and a course can be taught by one faculty only. So what are the two entities that are present here? Course and faculty. So we can tell that a course can be taught by a faculty or course can be teachers by a faculty. And what type of relationship it is? 1:1. They are clearly telling that one course should be taken by one faculty only. So they wanted to give that relationship. So that is why they have given. You might think, ma'am, one faculty can take multiple courses. No, yes. But in the scenario, they wanted one faculty to be taken one course only. So that is how that here we have to give. So here I am taking a 2 again. This is not an ER diagram. For your understanding that I am showing you guys is, once this is done, how we will be representing that in relationship for both the entities, that also we'll see. So here I am taking two things, course and faculty. So here also we will be having what? Courses, and we will be having what? A faculty. So what is the type of relationship we have to give? One course should be taught by what? One faculty only. And understand, this is very much important. If one cardinality ratio, if you are changing also, internally values also will get changed and scenario also can be changed. So have a complete focus whenever you are giving what? Whenever you are giving the relationship. So here, so this is how that we can tell that one course will be taught by one faculty only. So this we will be telling as what? As 1:1 relationship. So same thing that we can draw it by using what? By using our ER diagram. So here also we can take as what? Faculty we can take. So these are the attributes that which we will be having for our faculties. Attributes. So one faculty, one entity we have taken. So one more entity also we have to take, which is that course. And for that also what we have? We have the attributes here. So that attributes we will be giving here. Everything, attribute everything. Now we have to create what? We have to create that relationship here. So what we are telling here? Faculty takes by course. Faculty takes a course. Relationship I have created. But what type of relationship I should give here? I have to tell here 1:1. So this is how that you have to draw your ER diagram. And if you see, this is just one part. Still we have not taken any other. We are just seeing them individually. So I have a faculty, I have a course, attributes I have, and faculty takes the course. I have created a relationship, and what type of cardinality ratio they wanted? 1:1, and I have given 1:1. So this is how each individual scenario you have to take since you guys are starting it. Initially if you are trying to build everything in one shot, you will get confused. And there is a chance that mistakes also can happen more. So that is why take it individually. So next what scenario we have here? So department, faculty. So what type of relationship they are giving? 1:many. So here also let us take the departments and let us take the course, the faculty here. So in one department we can have multiple faculties. That is what the relationship they are giving there, right? They wanted to give that 1:many. So I can tell here as what? One department can have multiple faculties. And that is also is there. One faculty to teach should take a single course. That's the difference. But in one department we can have multiple faculties. We'll have a multiple courses in one department, right? So a department can contain what? Multiple faculties. So you can see that this is how that we can give that in one department that we can have what? We can have multiple faculties. You can see here in this department how many faculties we have? 3 faculties. In this 2 faculties, 3 faculties, 2 faculties. So this is how we can tell that one department can have what? One department can have multiple faculties. And can you see that anywhere one faculty is working in multiple departments? Reality will be there? See, one faculty is there, that faculty will be assigned to one department only as a major. So as a major, that faculty belongs to a CS department or civil department or mechanical department. That is how that they will be assigned. But here we no need of focusing that side. We have to focus that one department can contain multiple faculties. So same thing only we have to do it for what? We have to do it for the department, faculty we have to give, and we have to give what? We have to give the relationship. One department has multiple faculties. So ratio we can tell 1:many. And one extra thing which you can see here is 3 pipelines that which we have here. Wherever there is present many, there you have to represent as 3 pipelines. Why I am telling is this? Because while drawing an ER diagram, they will not sometimes specifically mention this as 1:many like that. Just by seeing these representations, we need to understand sometimes. So that is why understand for many how we will be representing that 3 pipelines will be there. So this is what type of relationship we have given? 1:many. So in one department we can have multiple faculties. So similarly we will be going with the next. So here what are the entities we have? Course and semester. So semester and course. So what is the type of relationship they are giving here? Many is to one. So like this we can take up the course and the semester. So we can tell like what are the courses that are present? Semester. And can we tell here that in one semester we can have multiple courses? Can we tell? So here we can give that particular relationship. So you can see in one semester we can have multiple courses, or else we can tell as what? Multiple courses can be present in one semester. We can tell as what? Multiple courses can be present in one semester. That is what we are giving here as what? Many is to one. So this is how that we have to represent, and we are exactly going according to the scenario only. Again I am repeating, you guys might think, ma'am, this also is possible, but yes, it might be a possible, but we are just following the requirement which we have. Based on that only we have to draw what? We have to draw the ER diagram. So here I am taking what? A faculty, attributes I am taking, semester I am taking, attributes I am taking, and here I will be giving what? Relationship that multiple courses belongs to one semester. I can tell multiple courses belongs to one semester, and you can see wherever many is there, that representation will be present. So this is how many is to one relationship we can give. So wherever many is there, try to give that 3 pipelines, and many courses belongs to one semester. So next, what scenario we have here? Student and semester. So here we have to take students and we have to take what? Semesters. And here, what relationship we are giving here? 1 to many we are giving. Can we tell that in one semester, multiple students can be present? In one semester, multiple students can be present. Yes. So that is how the scenario that they have given here. That in one semester, we can have multiple students. So that is what the relationship that they wanted to give as 1 is to many. So that is how that we have to provide here by telling that in one semester, we can have multiple students. So we can have multiple students here. In one semester, we can have multiple students. So we can tell as many is to many. And same thing in terms of the ER diagram we are taking. So what and all we have to take? Semester and student we have to take. So for student also attributes will be present. So here what relationship they are giving? Same. So as we said that in one semester we can have multiple students. So here we can tell as one semester has multiple students. So we can give here 1 is to many. So this is how that relationship that you have to provide. That in one semester multiple students. If you see every relationship we have done individually. Still we have not combined our entire ER diagram. Once you combine the entire ER diagram only, you can call that as one proper ER diagram. Otherwise, no. So, when you are doing initially also, make sure you do it individually, separately, then you integrate all of them. Then you combine all of them. So, what is one last type of relationship that we have here? Many is to many. So, what we have here? Student and the course. So, here we can tell, right, one student can obtain multiple courses. And in one course, multiple students can be present. That is when we have to tell as many is to many, right? So, when we have to give many is to many relationship, in both the direction we have to get 1 is to many. Here if you see, a student can enroll to the multiple courses and one course can have multiple students. So here we can have what? Many is to many relationship. So here, so same thing that we will be taking course and student, and here as usual, so here we will be having what? Multiple things. So you can see that in this course how many students are present? In this course how many students are present? 2 students are present, and first student enrolled to how many courses? 2 courses. So in one course multiple students can be present, and multiple students can, one student can enroll to multiple courses. In one course we can have multiple students. So this relationship we will be giving as what? As a many is to many. So ER diagram how we will be drawing? Student, attributes and course. Attributes we will be giving, and relationship we will be giving enrolls, and many is to many. So when we have many is to many, you can see that all the sites that what I have that 3 pipelines here. What I have 3 pipelines here. So this is how whenever you are drawing an ER diagram, what you have to do? You have to completely provide that representation properly. We have to provide that representation properly. So far whatever, here if you see we have covered with entities, we have covered with attributes. In that attributes only, actually we have covered that key attributes also. And then we have covered with what? Relationship. In that relationship only we have covered with what? We have covered with the cardinality ratio as well. So now individually whatever we have done, this as a complete ER diagram we have to make. Individual parts whatever it is there, we have to integrate them now. So you can see that. So this is how that entire last drawing what? Drawing an ER diagram. That is what the final step that which we have here. So this is how that complete ER diagram that whatever we have, we will be having. So entities we had, then what we had? So we had what? And attributes we had here. So once we had that particular attributes, then what we had? Relationship we had. So here for everything that we will be having what? We will be giving that relationship. So once we have given that relationship, what we have given? We have given the cardinality ratio. So whatever we have done individually, entity, attribute, relationship, cardinality ratio, you can see everything we have integrated as one. So this is how your final ER diagram will be present. And whenever you are drawing a standard ER diagram, sometimes this many is to one or many is to many, whatever we have here, that will not be present. Just by seeing that notation, you have to do what? You have to identify. And you can see here, everything has been interrelated with each other now. This is basically an university database. In the university database, these are the entities, attributes, relationship and cardinality ratio. And I know that this is completely a theory. This is completely a theory, but this is very much important for your interviews. Multiple times I said, again I am telling, just because of this, don't lose the opportunities. There are companies who tells, draw one ER diagram, you will get placed, you will be getting selected. But students, Just because this is a theory part, they will ignore it. They will not practice it. They will not be able to draw. And directly they will be rejected. They will not even ask the next question. Directly they will be rejected. So make sure practice with the scenarios also and practice with directly, as I said. Draw ER diagram for bank database. Draw the ER diagram for the hospital database. Draw the ER diagram for the university database. Sometimes realistic, they can tell, draw the ER diagram for the Zomato database, Swiggy database, Ola database, Uber database. So they can give any scenarios. What you have to do, you have to think, you have to take up the entities, attributes, properly represent it. So this is how our complete ER diagram will be present as a standard. Is this ER diagrams are clear to everyone? You are telling yes, but I know just by seeing it, nothing you will get. So what you have to do, you have to put your pen and paper and you have to practice. So most importantly, you have to do what? You have to draw the representations, everything. So should I leave? Thank you so much. We'll meet up in next class. Thank you all.